Flosstube. Welcome back to Stitches and Sundries. This is episode 39, I think. Ooh, I didn't check. I don't remember from when I edited. 39, I think. I'm recording on the 29th of May. So we're getting ready for our Memorial Day cookout here at the house. So my sister's out mowing the lawn right now because she's a good person, and I'm in here dorking around with Flosstube. I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky in my life. Let me think here. So I'm Lauren, and you can find me on Instagram at Lauren Up Stitching, where I intermediately post. I'm okay. I'm trying to get better, but I just like things to be done and perfect, and that's not how you're supposed to do it, but that's apparently how I do it. I am trying very hard to cut out the ums and uhs. I'm an person even in reality. I'm a so to start almost every sentence. So I have to be very careful with that, but I'm working on it. Not much has been going on here. I've been stitching a lot, which I'm really super excited about. Oh, this is a podcast about cross stitch in case you stumbled upon this unknowingly. It's a great podcast about cross stitch and rambling, sure. We'll pretend. And not much has happened this week. We had one not great thing that happened pretty much right after I recorded. I record on a Sunday. This happened the next Wednesday. We unfortunately lost our dog, Millie. I don't think any of you got to meet Millie, but she was super awesome. She was a wonderful dog. She was 18 years old though, and we had been kind of expecting an issue. She had already had stuff starting. She had seizures, but it was her time, and that was, we're gonna move on from that because I'm not in the mood to cry. But it was a rough week. That week really just hit us hard. We canceled a lot of stuff that was going on. And I'll put in a picture. That was Millie. She was the best dog ever. She's a little old lady. There I go again. Other than that, not a ton happened. Like I said, we canceled a lot of stuff. We had friends coming over and things like that, and we just weren't in the space to even get the house ready. And so, but like I said, we had already been kind of preparing for that. So, and then this week has all been preparing for the Memorial Day cookout, which is kind of kicks off the summer here in Garrett County. The weather's finally getting nicer. It has been so cold here. Just not cold, like 52 to 57 degrees semi-regularly. And it is just chilly and wet. And that's pretty normal for Garrett County. That's Garrett County spring because we're up in the Appalachian Mountains a little bit. But it has not been that way for the past couple years. People have been coming. We're in a tourist destination. We're at Deep Creek Lake. If you ever come to Maryland and look at Deep Creek Lake, it's a super big kind of tourist destination. People come out of Pittsburgh and Philly and Baltimore and DC and come up here for the cooler weather and to spend time on the lake, and it's just really nice. But because the springs are really nasty, that's not a tourist season. The last couple of years, it has people started coming earlier and earlier. And this year they tried, and it was just miserable. Oh my God, hang on. That thing literally never comes on, but apparently when I'm trying to record, it does. I'm in the basement, so it's a dehumidifier. But people come up here, and so this year they've been miserable. It has not been great. But now it's starting to get nice. It's starting to be time to be outside. It's time to grill. It's time to hang out with family. And so we're getting about 40 people in our house this weekend, which is most of my immediate family. So that is aunts and uncles, cousins, and their kids. And that's a good chunk of us. There's probably 60 of the Wilts, which is my mom's side of the family, total. And at Christmas, we'll get that. We'll get the 60. But it's starting to be time to play kickball and do all the fun stuff. And so we're getting ready for that. So that was really exciting. That's really nice. I've been trying to be better, similar to Instagram. If you're my age, like I'll be 34 this year. So if you're my age, I want you, or around that, like generational, I would love to know if you're a picture person. We are great at taking pictures of our pets. We are great at taking pictures of a cool mushroom. But we are terrible at taking pictures of family, ourselves, doing activities that we love, you know, like memory moments. Awful at it. Absolutely awful at it. When I was younger, that was my dad's thing. Like he had one of those big handheld camcorders that like had to sit on your shoulder. And we have tapes of him just wandering around taping nothing. Just like taping people, you know, 2 people came over to hang out and grill burgers. And he's like walking around taping random conversations. He would take pictures of my mom cooking dinner, like just like that kind of stuff. And we are like terrible at taking pictures. I don't know if that's just like, my mom was terrible about it. And when dad left, we just had mom. And so we like never really inherited it or whatever. But like, I want to know if it's also like a generational thing, because we're bad at it. So we're trying to be better. So I'm hoping to get a big family picture. Anyway, that's rambling. I'm really good at rambling, so I'll try and stop. I have cross stitch. I have wonderful cross stitch. I have new starts, finishes, whips, the whole 9 yards. I have a lot this time, which I'm super excited about. And this has given me a little bit of new start fever. Like I feel the need to start a couple other things that I have wanted to do for a while. And I'm just like, I'm out of project bags. I have every project bag filled currently, and I know I have to start my next flower of the month, and I don't have anywhere to put it. So I'm out of project bags, so I need to get someone on that. Yeah, probably Sarah. I'll probably put Sarah to work on it. All right, so let me grab my papers. All right, finishes first. I feel like that's a good spot to start. All right, I have some finishes. So I wanted to show this one off first. So this one is fully finished. This is my Flower of the Month for June by Maurer-Stroh. This is a free pattern on her website. I'll link it below. All my patterns are linked below. And I finished this on 28 count antique blue Lugana or even weave, can't remember. Have the book, not gonna bother. And I finished it up on sticky board. I changed my technique for finishing the corners and it looks so much better. I'm gonna do that every time. I followed an upholstery for like upholstering a chair tutorial. Good stuff. I'll try and link it below. I'll try and find it again. And I love this. I think this is so pretty. I think the kind of orangey pinks of that flower contrast perfectly with the blue. I think that it looks like, I told Sarah, it looks like almost like China. It looks like whereas I brought here's my other months that are not currently sitting on my desk. Here's my other months, which I also love. Like, I think that is like one of my favorites, like that dark blue on the natural fibers. And there's April. I am just like in love with these. I think these are so fun, and they get to put a little bit of my personality on my desk. They're not like, they're a little more classic, a little more like classic cross stitch than I usually go for, but it's something that I really enjoy doing. But this is like, it feels so modern and clean in comparison to these. So, try to put it out there. I just think that is so cool. So finished it with a little bit of jute twine that I braided. The title, I've been adding the title, is in Corners and Curls font by ScreamingHeartDesign. And I did this one in, I think it's the Gentle Arts Clover. And I think that matched really pretty. It's got just enough of a little bit of a color shift in there. It's still in that vein of pink and kind of pink and white and orange. And it just goes really nicely. So that is done. That is ready to go on my desk on Tuesday. Wednesday, I guess. Wednesday's the 1st? Yeah. Sure. Yeah, so that's ready to go on my desk. I'm super excited. I like putting those out. People comment on them, which is nice. It's nice to have external validation. Yeah. Instead of just Sarah. Sarah's very good at validating me. Oh, I should have brought, I'll show you something Sarah made me because it's for cross stitch, but I should have brought one of her. She just painted this massive, it's like a foot tall. She 3D printed and painted this machine. We play Pathfinder, which is like D&D, and we needed this like machine for a fight to like be in the way, and it's like generating enemies. And she just printed one and painted it, and it's beautiful. It looks amazing. And I'm like, Sarah Heilig, you are too talented. And she's like, doll. So my other finish, I'll bring it next time. It looks really cool. My other finish, I'm so worried about scratching the paint on this thing, and I'll tell you why, is the Witch's Brew is done. It's complete. So I finished this up, I think like a day after I recorded, like not long. I did this one, stitch it up so quickly. And it was like super nice to stitch. And I'll try and get in there a little bit without glare too much. I love it. I'm just so pleased. Look at that little tiny Scully tea bag. Oh, I love it. And so, yeah. So this is my mug today with an eye and like, how perfect is that? So that worked out nicely. So this frame, let me tell you about this frame. This frame was a nightmare. So I love frames. I have a ton of them. Like this whole corner in this room is just full of frames. There's a desk here full of frames. And I thought I had a frame that would fit. I had measured, totally thought it would fit. Here it is. Here's the frame that I have that I thought would fit. I found this in a thrift shop, I think. Not Goodwill, but somewhere like that. Maybe Christian Crossings here. And how cool would that frame have been? I was going to spray paint it black, glossy black. Perfect, right? Fantastic. It didn't fit. It didn't fit by like, no, it was just cutting off the edge of everything. Like everything, the edge was just cutting it off. I was furious. So then I'm like, okay, fine. I have to go find frames. So I went to a bunch of different thrift stores and I'm like, okay, oval frames are not easy to find, but they're not impossible to find. Welcome the impossible. Yes, they are. I found round ones. You never find round ones. I found two hexagonal ones that are super cool. I could get them out. I'll have to do a frames day one day, just like acquisitions and show off my frames. But none of them were the right size, couldn't find anything. So I went down, hung out with Devin, my former co-host / awesome best friend. Hung out with her, saw her, what they've been doing to their house. It's amazing. That's something I did. I did do something. And so her house looks amazing, by the way. It really does. She has very much a similar like maximalist vibe, but it's so much more cozy. I don't know. She's trying to get that cottagecore vibe, and it's working. She's very good at it. So, and we went to some thrift stores down there. Couldn't find anything. Found one that was like too big, technically. Like it was like several times too big. But I was like, if I have to, if the world comes to an end, I'll use it. It's fine. And then she goes, oh, I have a box of frames at home. Devin. And so we went through them and found the perfect frame. Found this one. It was perfect. It was gold, and it has a little bit of filigree there on the edge. I believe that she finished a project in this area there. You can kind of see the filigree. I believe she finished a project in this. And painted it black. And I think the project was even on fabric this color. Like, it was very, like, close. We were laughing about it. So I brought it home. I'm like, hey, Sarah, I just need this spray painted glossy black, please. And she's like, yeah, sure, no problem. Fam, I got you. And then it fell apart. Like, completely. Like, I don't know if the black that we had was old and was no good. It was so splotchy. It was... Well, the first time she sprayed it, it dried fine. Put the second coat on. The second coat never dried. It was sticky and tacky. Now, what happened the first time she sprayed it? Hang on, I'm trying to think. I can't remember what happened the first time. It didn't work out the first time. She sprayed it and something happened and it was wrong. Maybe she grabbed brown instead. I can't remember. So then she's like, okay, she took all that off. She sanded it off. She did a little bit of stripper, cleaned it off really good, let it dry overnight. Put the first coat of black on, fine. Second coat of black never dried. Just was sticky tacky the whole time. Had to take all that off a second time. Sand it all back down a second time. And then we just abandoned that spray paint. We couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. We just straight up abandoned it. And then she sprayed it with her primer for her minis. I felt bad because that stuff's expensive. She sprayed it and coated it and glossed it, and it looks great, but it took 3 days. For a project that was only supposed to be throw a couple a couple layers of spray paint on it, it took 3 days. So I felt bad. So I'm like trying to be very careful not to nick it. It should be sealed really well, but yeah, I'm super happy with it. Super pleased. Like, I think that is just perfect. I did have to make one tiny change on this pattern, and that is this apostrophe. Because it says Witch's Brew, as in, like, no possession. No, like, the witches have brewed is the only thing I can think of. Like, we double checked and triple checked the punctuation. Like, there needs to be an apostrophe there. And so I was like, okay, I'm putting it in. So I am pleased with how it looks. I love these little moons, how they're kind of subtle, but the stars stand out. I love the bubbles and the bats. I am just in love. So I'm happy to have that. That's going on right in my kitchen, right above Sarah's coffee picture that she has. And so that will be perfect. Another one bites the dust. I am finishing. Like, I was looking through, so last year my book, my awesome sticker covered book that keeps everything. 2021, I had a lot of dangling things that needed finished after I came out of there. Not even like things that needed fully finished, but like I had a lot of projects that just carried over into 2022 unfinished. And I have beaten out a lot of those and have been finishing what I start in 2022, which is really nice. I'm doing a lot of smaller stuff. I've got a couple big projects that will definitely extend, but I feel like I'm doing a lot of small to mid-sized projects that are just finishing, which is really nice. So I'm happy with that. All right. Whip updates. What do I have for whip? Oh, I only have one whip. I have one whip and 2 new starts. So that's nice. Whip update. Oh, I got a stringy. Don't look at my string. Hanging out there. So this one is, go through my stack of papers here. I can probably go through and get rid of a couple of these. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. This is a Stitch Your Haunts here. by the Witchy Stitcher, my favorite designer apparently. I mean, she is, I'm not gonna lie. So, super happy about this one. Super excited to have it done. Know where it's gonna go. Oh, throw that one in there too. Boom, there's 3 done. And this is my progress so far. Bum, bum, bum. Stop being folded. Bum, bum, bum. There we go. So, since you last saw it, let me hold it up by the top here. Since you last saw it, I filled in all this shingling in the top of the roof, finished the top of the roof with the cool, like, look at that bat topper. That is so cool. Got these windows in, finished all this kind of like stuff here. And I started adding down here on the coffins. Oh, I think I even got this stitching on the side wasn't done before. So yeah, super good progress. Really pleased with that. I think I'm at like 75% done on this one, so it's going to be done fairly soon. I'm loving it. I need to get this siding done, but that color's in another project right now. Just need to dig it out. So yeah, I really like Witchy Stitcher. I think her stuff is very, it's easy stitching is the only way I can describe it. Like, I've got a couple projects. The schoolhouse sampler, some of the flowers that are thoughtful stitching, like there's a lot of color changes and kind of a lot going on. And even Cryptid is a little like thoughtful, but this is like just potato chip. You just go, 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 go. Like the roof is all the same pattern, so I didn't even have to like look at the pattern that often, except to get that ghost in there. Like, it's just very nice. It's very nice to stitch. So I'm pleased with that. I'm stitching this on 14 count oatmeal Aida that I had from another project that I ended up cutting. And I'm super pleased. I'm glad other people, by the way, had talked about cutting their fabric. Like, I think Tattooed Cat this morning talked about how she's very comfortable cutting because that's what she started with. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad you got that trauma done. And you're like, you just don't have it. And so it was nice talking to people about that. That was really neat. Who else? Oh, Anna said that she can't cut her fabric. Anna from Anna Stitches Autumn says she can't cut her fabric. So I feel better that it's like really hard. It's a thoughtful thing. So, all right. That's a whip. Coming along. Super excited. Loving that project. And new starts. All right. So people voted last time, which was really fun. I might do that kind of thing again. And they said, you need to start the CryptoNaturalist sampler by ScreamingHeartDesign. She is. This is one I was super excited to start, so I'm glad it won. It's one of those things when you say, like, flip a penny and you'll know what it is in the air. You'll know what you want it to land on. And I'm super excited about this. And talking about cutting fabric, here is the fabric. Dun, dun, dun. So, let me see here if you can see the iridescence in there. Super beautiful. Here's my little start for the weekend. And I have put in over 1,000 stitches and I'm only about 5%. So this is going to be a big one, which I'm fine with. I really like it. I love this like Art Deco style and how the black really highlights this fabric. It's washing out a little bit in the lights. Oh, I just realized I never turned on my, let me see, hang on. I'm going to see if Devin left me lights because she's a good person. Let me see if I turn them on, if it makes a difference. Hang on, I'm going to get up. All right. Oh, it kind of does. It kind of does. You can see the iridescence more, I think. So, This is 28 count Crystal Highland by Picture This Plus. I picked up a chunk of this at the Village Sampler and as a present to myself, because you need presents sometimes. And I've been waiting for the right project for it. And I thought this with all the black, this is the perfect project for it. Like the sparkle is just going to come through in the kind of open spaces, like around the words and stuff. This is all going to be open, and the sparkle is really going to shine against this dark black. And it took me a while to make the decision about this, because I had to cut the fabric for one thing, and but I had a lot of it, so I knew I could get another project out of it, so that helped. But then also thinking about the size of the project. Did I want it on 28 count? Did I want it on 32? How big did I want this thing to be? And in the end, it is going to be a good size. It is going to be about 1.5 foot by 2 feet, something like that. Not quite that much. I could look it up. And I could look it up, but I'm not gonna. And I was like, that's pretty big. I don't have anywhere in my quote unquote office. I don't have an office. My desk sits in the middle of a open space. So I don't even have walls right now. But thinking about how I wanted it to look, like, it's not oversized if I had an actual cubicle or office. So supposedly in the next year, maybe 2 years, they're building on a building that will have office, because we're too crowded as it is right now. So they're building on a building that will have office space for us, and I will have an office. And so when I have that office, which it might take me that long to finish this sucker, when I have that office, this would be totally appropriately sized. And so that was my final, like, okay, just do it. Just do it. You love this fabric. It, you know, it might be a little bigger than, you know, you were originally thinking. Like, originally I was thinking of something like, I don't know, even 8 by 10 is too small. Like 10 by 12 maybe. And this is a lot bigger than that. But I really think it's going to be perfectly fine. And look at the detail you can see. Look at that. That's just gorgeous. So I'm in love. It's a super fun stitch because it's mostly black. You just kind of go. You just kind of keep going. I'm loving the, like I said, the Art Deco style of it. It's very modern, but very classic as well. The skulls are cute. Cute little skulls. Look at him. He's so cute. So I'm super happy about that. Can you see that? Like, look at that. I also kind of agonized over how to cut the fabric, because you could definitely see the you wanted the right dyeing, like you wanted enough modeling to be interesting, but I didn't want all of it because I knew it would be a lot of it would be covered. So I like strategically cut. I like deciding which corner to cut this out of was a trial, and my poor sister had to listen to me go through the whole darn thing. Poor thing. Oh. Someone told me I should show my kits. This is my little bag. So when I kit up a project, I always put everything I'd need for the project. So this is all the extra, about 11 skeins of black for that. So there's all my extra skeins of thread, of floss, and then I always have the scissors, my little scissors. These I think I just got off Amazon. My needle minder, upside down, my needle minder and needle, so that I can just pick up this bag and go. Everything is in it except the pattern, which is on my tablet. So like I just stick everything in here. Oh, I guess there isn't a hoop or anything, but I could very easily just pop a hoop in there. But I don't have to go looking for everything. Yeah. So yeah, that was a new start. That was super fun to start. It's progressing and you see that you're getting stuff done. One thing I haven't done is I haven't picked the color yet. Because of that Highland green, I want to go, Crystal Highlands, I want to go with like a green or a gold. And so I bought a couple different colors, and when I get to a point where there'd be color in there, I'm going to swatch a little bit. I'm just going to look at the different colors, you know, put some in, take some out, and just see how I like them and make a decision from there. So once I have that decision, I'll just kind of show you the colors I went through. All right. Last new start. I feel like I'm also like so raspy. The pollen here is like, I know it's not as bad as other places, but I feel like I have had a cold and it's just pollen. So I'm like so dry-throated and raspy. All right, this last new start, I actually just started this morning. You're sitting around drinking tea and having breakfast basically, and saying, going through the things we had to get done today. And I just started working on this because I had it kitted up and ready to go. This is Candyman by the Witchy Stitcher. I'm super excited about this one. I really like the reds. I really like I love the original Candyman movie. It's going to be a gift for my sister, for her. She's like a movie wall full of like slasher movie stuff. So, yeah. And I have a little tiny start because, like I said, I just started it. So, I have any, like, not much. So, and I love this, like, let me fold it in half a little bit here. There you go. You can kind of see how bright that red is. Look at that. It's gorgeous. And each row drips down to make the next row, so that's why there's not toppers on, like, that should be a D, but the top row kind of drip down. I'm doing this on 28 count, I believe it's Jobelin in black. I love this fabric. I've got a lot of this stuff from a project, a failed project. Not failed, I did finish it, but I finished it in different fabric. So I have a lot of this, and I'm gonna totally use it up. And oh, I just put it down on the edge of the couch. It's covered in cat hair. It's covered in cat hair. Things we do for our animals. So I have to talk to you guys about, okay, first of all, I never showed this. I'm bad at showing acquisitions. I don't know why. Like, that's just not something I think to do. But I have to show this little bag that I got, Notions bag. It says, hey, home slice. Has a pizza that has been embroidered and appliqued on. How dumb and cute is that? I got this at the quilt show we went to up in Myersdale, PA. And it was just like a little thing. And there were a couple that were like, one said like, I'm bananas for you, and it had a banana. And they were just so cute, and I just had to have it. So that's my Notions bag for this one. Let me see what I got. Oh, and very appropriately, I have a bee needle minder for this one. Very, as I was looking, I was like, oh, it's very thematically on point, if not stylistically. It's a little too cute for the bees in Candyman, but I'm very happy with that. So I have my scissors and my needle minder, and then I kitted up my floss. I always use Floss Tags. And now I have to show you these things my sister made me. So this is my normal floss tag, right? It's got the, oh, let's go this way. It's got the number, the color name, the floss is there. I can pull it off a strand at a time. I love, this is the only way I could possibly kit up my floss. Like, I cannot imagine trying to bobbinate. People that bobbinate, tell me your secrets. I tried it. It was so messy for me. I don't know why. I love floss tags. So, I punched my floss tags out of cardstock I got at Hobby Lobby. And it's bag cardstock. It is not thick. It is very lightweight cardstock, which I didn't realize when I bought it. I should have. There's a couple that are a little thicker, but not many. So, I'm going to be embarking on a giant organizational quest. Sarah actually said to me recently, are you feeling a little more, like, stressed than usual? And I was like, no, actually, I feel like everything's going pretty well. Like, things are going okay. And she's like, you're organizing a lot. Like, a lot. Like, you keep getting stuff out, and completely, like, I tore out drawers, completely reorganized, came down in the basement, cleaned and reorganized stuff that's been needing reorganized for literally a year. And she's like, you do that when you're stressed. And I was like, oh, hadn't noticed. But maybe it's like underlying, like I don't really notice it, but subconsciously my brain is like, we need to get some things in order here. So one of the things I'm going to be doing is taking on this massive cross-stitch stash organization project. I really want to try and get it to be cohesively organized. So I made labels for my fabric stash. I'm going to buy these special envelopes for them. I'm going to, so that every fabric has its own envelope and it's labeled and it has all the information on it. I'm going to get better cardstock for these tags, consistent cardstock, because right now it wavers from flowers to psychedelics to lipstick for some reason, because I just bought a couple random things. I punch my own tags and write my own labels, but I'm going to have a consistent set of like cardstock that I use that all follows a theme, and then I'm going to make it thicker cardstock, and then my sister made me these. So I know that doesn't look like much, but these are 3D printed, because she has a 3D printer for her minis and models and stuff. These are 3D printed. They are little grommets that snap in and ensure that, one, the thread doesn't tangle. Two, as I pull it off, because this paper was so thin, like literally the effect of pulling a thread off was a saw blade. It just like would slowly cut through the fabric, and I'd have to replace the tag or put a little piece of tape. And so these protect it, make it come off smoothly. It doesn't, when I pull the thread off, it doesn't spiral because it's been, you know, like when you pull a ribbon through scissors, like, and it spirals. That's what my thread was doing. So it doesn't do that because it's not super tight. So it is just like awesome. It is perfect. So I'm going to get those slowly, because we can only print about 4 of them at a time. I'm just going to slowly put those on all my tags. All my tags will be labeled neatly with a printed label instead of me writing, because sometimes I wrote backwards, sometimes I had to write stuff out. It's going to be labeled neatly. So I'm excited about that. That is like paper crafts and cross stitch and organization. It's like all me, just hitting all my notes, just perfect. So I was watching Total Stitchshow, who commented on my hair, which, thank you. I've been trying desperately to grow it out, and I still have this little wingy guy back here, but he's slowly getting hidden, and you're wonderful, and she's insane, and go watch her. But I was watching Total Stitchshow, and she was like, just like, the chaos we live in, yes! And I'm like, let me just organize my little floss tags. So we're very different ends of the spectrum, but so watch both of us so you can get everything, right? That's how that works. She's super awesome and super funny, and her cats are adorable. She has kittens now. That's very important. So I will link her below as well. So yeah, so that is my big organizational project. These are awesome. My sister is the best. You should all know and love her. But yeah, look, they just snap on. And then they protect your thread. How perfect is that? So I have like 100 household things that I want her to print for me. So I guess I should let her do her hobby in between those things. That's kind of everything I have. Yeah, so today marks the end of Halloween, or well, not quite, but the last day. Today is the last start of the season. I was watching Suki, the brown-eyed stitcher, who I will also link below, and she started a ton of stuff. She did full-on mania, and I was like just in awe. I was just in awe of her big starts too. Lots of full coverage, lots of hades, and I was just like, it's infectious. I just want to go out and start a bunch of stuff But as we just talked about, my little inner organizational freak would probably die. But I don't know. I might have to get more project bags and just have a bigger rotation. I don't know. This community is bad. I used to be monogamous, you know. I used to be a monogamous stitcher. Now I have, oh, let me think what I've got going on. Let me count. Cryptid. Schoolhouse. They weren't in this episode. Flower of the Month. Candyman. Stitcher Haunts here. The CryptoNaturalist sampler. Is that everything? 6? Is 6? Yeah, I think 6. I have 6 going. That doesn't seem like much, does it? That number seems awfully low. That tells me I probably need to start at least something else, right? This place is terrible. All right, well, that was everything for me. It was super nice talking to you guys. I love comments down below. So what should I comment? I love talking to you guys. What's your next? So with Mania being almost over, whatever Mania you're participating in, what's your next challenge? What things are going on right now that you are excited to be a part of, or you're doing currently that is like going a little longer? What things should I get into that are going on out there? So comment that down below if you're doing anything. Like if you're doing like, is Smalls June? Is that what it is? I can't remember. If there's something coming up, let me know so that I can be more enabled with all your terribleness. That's it. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. I hope you have a wonderful, start to summer. I hope you're doing a lot of fun stuff and stitching a lot, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.